I know you met Kayla in 2013 before she even entered Syria, and I want to get to those moments, your reflections on her. But first, she was made a prisoner and likely, let's just be real about this, forced into relations with this ISIS fighter. This is the reporting we're hearing, which to me begs the question: if she was seen as this prized prisoner, why kill her, and then why show her family her young body dressed in this shroud?
I don't think we know how she was killed yet. So I'm not sure whether she was killed in the bombing, in the airstrike, or if she was killed by them. I don't think that at the moment is really the issue. I think the issue at hand is the fact that while she was incredibly well-meaning and well-intentioned, her death really points out how dangerous it is working inside Syria for aid workers, for journalists, for any humanitarians that are trying to help the Syrian people. And her fate and this tragedy is really an illustration of that.
I guess I hear you. I guess my point, when I heard of that she was, in this burial, this Muslim shroud, it made me think that has to, and I don't know, and you can't climb in the minds of ISIS, but I have to think so much of this is for propaganda, and it's staged.
Absolutely. I mean, so much of the way that ISIS works is propaganda. This is now a propaganda war. A lot of it is, we know that the horrific video of the Jordanian pilot was made in such in a sense, such an astute way to try to be used as a recruitment video and as a way of promoting themselves. They're masters of propaganda. Everything they do is very intentionally thought out. Her death, however, we don't yet know. I mean, I think it's more important to focus on what she was doing there, the kind of person she was, and the risk that humanitarian aid workers, that's
let's focus on that. You met
so much
Kayla.
We don't know.
You met Kayla at the Syrian-Turkish border. What were your initial impressions of her, Janine?
I thought she was incredibly young, incredibly naive, very inexperienced. I thought she was passionate and warm and well-meaning and well-intentioned. But to be honest, I left from meeting her incredibly worried. I thought, this is someone that's going to get into trouble. I've been working in war zones for more than 20 years, and so my intuitions about when it's right to cross into borders, when it's not, are pretty well honed. That doesn't prevent me from getting into trouble either. It's just, I was very surprised at how naive she was, at how almost excited to be going into Syria. I was with another colleague, and she was with her Syrian friend, who's also a friend of mine, an activist. And while it's really touching to see people that are that devoted to a cause, as her mother said, peace, and to try to bring peace to the world, I think it also has to be pointed out that war and places like Syria are not the place to go when you are very inexperienced. If you don't have hostile environment training, if you've never been in war zones before. She had worked in Palestine and India and places like that, but my real impression was how naive she was about the political situation in Syria, about the on-the-ground situation. And I just hope that this doesn't in many ways glamorize what it is to work in these places, because there are an awful lot of young journalists, young humanitarians who come without proper backing, without knowing what they're doing on the ground, and it's terrible. And her death has deeply, deeply saddened me. But also, I think it could have been prevented. So it's a horrible illustration of how brutal ISIS are. And she was a lovely, warm person who had a good heart and who wanted to help the Syrian people. But she really was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You would know, as you've said, been doing this for more than 2 decades. Janine, I know that Kayla, she'd moved to Turkey to work with these 2 refugee organizations, not officially employed by either. This is according to what Family Advisors actually told the New York Times. Yet Doctors Without Borders was surprised to see her when she arrived in Syria. Did it seem she went maybe a little off script there?
Absolutely. I mean, operations like Doctors Without Borders, Norwegian Refugee Council, UNHCR, these are very serious organizations. Before you go to work with them, before you get a contract, they train you seriously with hostile, as I said, hostile environment training, with insurance, with preparation. They screen you psychologically. Doctors Without Borders just doesn't take anyone who turns up at the border. It's a difficult thing to get a role like that. During the Bosnian War, there were a lot of so-called freelance NGO people who showed up and wanted to help. Some of them did a lot of good. Some of them brought goods into the besieged cities like Sarajevo or Mostar, and some of them, frankly, were nut jobs that were more hazardous on the ground than helpful. Now, Bosnia, as dangerous as it was not like Syria. Syria is anarchy. It's anarchy for people who know what they're doing. And to see someone as innocent and as inexperienced as her there was terribly frightening for me and my colleague. And both of us who've worked inside Syria since the beginning and who know the ground, know the geopolitical situation, know the region well, we both said that girl, it's very worrying. And she went off and she went into Syria, and that was the last we heard of her, although we knew that she had been kidnapped. And we had heard rumors that she had been sold to ISIS. Now, I don't want in any way to diminish what she was doing and that she was a wonderful person with a big heart, but I do want to point out to those many people, and there are many of them, that are coming to Gaziantep, to Beirut, to Amman in Jordan, who want to help, but who don't have clear intentions and don't have contracts or work established already for them, how dangerous it is. And this really, Brooke, you would be surprised at how many people give up everything and just get on a flight and try to come to these places to help. And in the end, it's just much more dangerous than they think.
It is a reality check from someone who knows how hard and unglamorous war is. Janine DiGiovanni, Middle East editor for Newsweek. I truly appreciate you coming on and talking to me about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brooke.